Hello and welcome once again to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. And in this video we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends MORLUN figure. Now for anyone that's seen the TikTok video I did of this wave, there was a lot of talk about that logo on the top of the box and people thought that it was the Andrew Garfield figure, but it's not. It's Marvel Legends MORLUN. So let's jump straight into it and have a look. What do we get in the box? Well, we obviously get the figure with his cool hands, with the plasma things on the hands as well. It's a really nice figure, to be fair. I will put out what accessories we got because we do get an alternate head, but I just wanted to really focus on this coat because it's nice. And the nice detail here is if I just straighten the arm up and I'll pop this hand off, because obviously we've got suited figures, so obviously it's using the same arms as a standard suited figure, but you can actually pop these cuffs off and there we've got the standard figure. But by adding the cuffs it gives him a more distinctive and authentic look. So I'm just going to put that back on and pop his hand back on. So if you do swap hands around, which you probably won't because these hands are obviously unique to him, if you do swap the hands around, maybe for a Morbius animated custom, just be careful of those cuffs that you don't lose them. So yes, so we get the standard figure with his jacket, and you also get this other alternate head, which is kind of a more angry, kind of like sort of grimacing face as well. So the one that comes on the figure is more of a plain one. And then you've got the Armadillo right arm as well. And as I've said before, these Build-A-Figure pieces are huge. I mean, just look at the hand there on MORLUN's head. You can see that the hand is almost as big as a standard 6-inch figure's head. So I can't wait to put that Build-A-Figure together. Now I've just had a quick look around at this jacket and there doesn't seem to be any way of getting it off. I'm sure there's a popper on there somewhere. There usually is, but at the moment I can't find one. I don't actually think there is, you know. I think that this coat, it feels like an extra piece, but you can't get it off. So maybe it's not. Maybe it is a molded piece with the tails added. If anyone knows any different, then please put it in the comments below. And then obviously we can share it with other people, but just on initial looks, can't see any differences there. It's got like a really nice silver finish to the waistcoat as well. He really does look like his character in the comic books. Now I'm just going to pop that head on. Now I first came across the character MORLUN, I was more familiar with the character MORLUN on the Ezekiel comic book run where Peter Parker teams up with Ezekiel and there's all the totems and stuff. But the back of the box does say that he's a vampire. It specifically says the Vampire MORLUN. So that's what they are going for. In the comic books, his powers are like he's got a huge amount of powers. I think Spider-Man, he was even quoted saying that the punch that he received from MORLUN was like the strongest or the hardest punch that he had ever had, or something along that lines. But essentially, his power is being able to absorb energy and power and stuff from pretty much anyone. But he actually, yeah, he's a vampire in that sense, that he kind of takes the energy away from him, takes the life force, I think it's quoted as in the comic book. But he's a really badass character. He's a really kind of like, you know, he's a vampire at the end of the day. I think as well they do call him Vlad as well, which is obviously a reference to Vlad the Impaler. I'm sure they reference him as Vlad somewhere. If I've missed any details on the character of MORLUN, then please do pop them in the comments below, because I'm always open for learning more. But I was really pleased when I did see this one as a release, when they announced that he was being released, because it's always cool to have these slightly obscure and slightly sort of out there characters. See, I think of him as kind of a new character, but in reality he surfaced in the early 2000s, so he's been around sort of 20 plus years. So he's not a new character anymore, but I still see him as a new character, I think, just because of when I was reading comic books, like really in there and reading a lot of the comic books. Obviously now I just kind of read most of them on the Marvel Unlimited app. Still a little bit bitter that I can't get those free figures with the subscription, but hey ho, that's something for another video. Back to MORLUN. He is a cool figure. He's probably one of the weaker ones of the wave, because it is a really strong wave, but I think he's probably one of the weaker ones because unless you've read one of the story arcs with him in it, you're not necessarily going to be familiar with him, and you're not going to necessarily want him on your shelf or in your collection. But if you're a Spider-Man fan, then you can pick this guy up and add him to your Spider-Man shelf or your Spider-Man villain shelf, because he is definitely a villain of Spider-Man and a specific one there as well. Go read the story with Ezekiel and the totems. It's a really cool read. But yeah, so that's about it. definitely worth picking up, but there's not a huge amount that you can say about a suited body. The extra little details are really nice, and they've put in the work to make him different than just a standard suited buck, so definitely worth picking up. And as I said, any Spider-Man fan should definitely add him to their villains shelf. Thanks very much for tuning in to the 5-minute figure reviews. If you are enjoying them, then please do like, share, subscribe, and check out my channel for the rest of this wave, as well as other Marvel Legends figures. And that's about it from me. I'll catch you next time.